Hey, what's up, y'all? I just want to let you all know that Cash for Clunkers was a scam. You all got scammed. Whoever traded their car in for a couple dollars, you guys were a part of a bigger situation where they were getting rid of a lot of the older cars, getting them off the road, the ones that are still running. I'm not sure how much they gave you for a car that you just towed to the location, but if you drove it there, that means that your car still ran. And there were a lot of good cars that got given away for a couple dollars with that Cash for Clunkers deal. That was a way for the government to clear out the good running cars that Toyota and so many other car manufacturers, Honda, even old Infinitis, Nissans that were built back in the day, they were still on the road. The newer Nissans are not so good when it comes to high mileage, but the old ones, they stayed on the road. Old Infinitis, old Acuras, yeah. Cash for Clunkers cleared out the market and gave customers money so that they could put them down on a new vehicle. So what they did was it cleared the road from the vehicles that car manufacturers themselves complained about. They knew they made a mistake by building cars that last because customers were no longer buying new cars. So they had to come up with something, an incentive, a program that made it beneficial temporarily for the customers, for the owners of these vehicles, to get rid of what they had and buy new. The game hasn't changed, man. It's just the scheme, it's still the same. It's just modified to today's situation, financial and economic situation. But car manufacturers, they knew what they were doing. The government, they knew what they were doing. Commercialism. Businesses, the market, financial institutions, banks, the government itself, the economy has to continue to figure out a way to make you keep buying. And that's what Cash for Clunkers did, because it basically felt like you were getting a deal, an advantage, that you were getting leverage over car dealerships, but in all actuality, it had leverage over you. So it's something that you got to think about. If you benefited or profited in a way from the Cash for Clunkers, cool, but they understand that most owners did not. Most owners of these vehicles sold the very vehicle that they needed, and they had to buy another vehicle. And they had to create a reason for you to do it, to make it easier for you to do it. There were a lot of people who didn't have the credit, didn't have the savings to be able to make a move like that. So by getting rid of an old car and buying a new one, I mean, dealerships, they were rubbing their hands together. Couldn't wait for you to show up at the dealership. For those of you who just sold it and sat on the money, great. If you sat on the money and made it grow, even greater. But most people didn't. Most people did not. Most people took that money and blew it on another car. So what did that do? You just became a customer. You just took out a loan and went into debt. And for those who flip cars, see, I was flipping cars back then. I got pissed because now I didn't have any. I mean, the market changed after the car Cash for Clunkers, because I was buying cars for, I bought a car for $300, a Honda Civic, and sold it for $1,000, sold it for $1,500. There were many times that I bought a car under $1,000, $500, $800, and was able to fix whatever was wrong with it and then resell it. Honda Civics were my most favorite cars to buy. And then Toyota Corollas, Camrys, Honda Accords. I was buying early Mazdas, early Nissans. I mean, all that stuff changed, man. Cash for Clunkers ruined the economy. It might have generated more income for the banks and financial institutions and for the dealerships, but it ruined customers' abilities to save money and to keep what they had, and to just, not go back into debt. But debt is what runs the economy. It's just the way it is. And so these car manufacturers are not building cars, producing cars at the level they are without there being buyers. And so whenever buyers slow down, they have to come up with some genius way to get you to start buying again. And Cash for Clunkers was just that. It was just that. If you flip cars, you were angry because they were all gone. They just disappeared off the from the market, and I hated that. And then all of a sudden, the few that were left over, people wanted top dollar for. And then more recently, we had where the used cars went up in price because they had an issue during COVID when they couldn't produce the cars or finish producing the cars because of a lack of some type of chip or whatever on the circuit boards or whatever that they needed. And so because of that, used cars went up. Now, these car manufacturers are building all these garbage cars with small displacement motors, 2 liters, 3 cylinders, 4 cylinders, 5 cylinders, 6 cylinders, and they're putting turbos on them to get fuel efficiency, but they're not reliable. And so you again are realizing the difference of old cars and the way they used to make them and the way they make them now. It's just different. Old 4 cylinders were reliable. You can get 400,000 or 500,000 miles off of them. V6s, V8s, you can get 200,000, 300,000 miles off of them, but not like that anymore. A lot of these cars will not last that long because they have turbos that will burn up. You're pushing or maximizing the output of these small displacement motors, putting turbos on them. It's just what it is at this point. If you have an older car, man, hopefully you have a good older car. I suggest that you keep it as long as possible. If you want a new car, do you? Of course, this information is not for everybody, but for those of you who are trying to keep money in your account and trying to control your debt, especially if you're trying to get out of debt, I'm somewhere right now where I see more old cars than new cars, where I see people bringing cars back that I haven't seen since I was, for the last 10, 20, 30 years in some cases. These are some old cars, man. Old Toyotas, the original early year Hondas. When the Hondas was garbage, but cheap. And they're still on the road out here, man. Old Mitsubishis. God, I have not seen so many Toyota Corollas, Tercels. Look, that was like a 1980 something Corolla. Where I'm at right now, I've never seen so many small cars, old cars. I didn't even know these were still on the road, man. It's crazy to me. But it puts things in perspective that you don't have to have. It's all about your surroundings, man. The pressure really is put on us by, well, of course, commercialism, but it's just the environment, the culture. It's crazy. Depending on where you are in the world, this information is not even relevant because they already understand it. But where I live, in many other parts of the U.S., people have to keep up. People feel like if it's old, it's garbage. You got to get rid of it. You got to trade it in. But these cars out here, and people are driving them, man. I did not know that these cars could still be on the road, but it proves how they built these cars back then, man. Some of these cars got rust, unfinished bodywork, tape on them, but they're still on the road, man, and they're quiet. If I roll my windows down, these cars that I'm passing up, these cars that I'm looking at, people are putting the work into them because how much money does it cost to really fix an exhaust? How much money does it cost to do really patch body work? How much money does it cost to drop a new motor in something if you have because that's another thing. Cash for Clunkers, they got rid of so many good motors and transmissions. If those cars were still on the road in the U.S. today, man, there's plenty of motors and engines you could just throw in there and other components that might break down. It's nothing. Those cars were built solid, simple, and they lasted. It wasn't a whole bunch of electronics and gadgets and computers and screens. This was a simple car manufacturing that worked. You hear what I'm saying? That worked. Golly, I miss those days. Even this car, this rental that I'm in, it's cool. It has a whole bunch of screens and stuff. A screen run across the whole front, but it's like the car in general is very, whatever. I'm not even gonna hype this car up, man. It is what it is. But let something go bad with these screens, it's over with. It's much, oh God, as intuitive as a lot of this stuff is and beneficial when it comes to safety features and just added stuff, man, to make it easier to drive without having to take your eyes off the road. The technology is cool, you know, of course, but is it worth the cost associated with it? In my opinion, no, because all you have to do is just like the basics of driving, turning around if need be, putting blind spot mirrors on your mirror, looking back when you're backing up if you need to, those mirrors don't work for you, understanding distances, paying attention, keep your eyes on the road. I mean, man, there's so many different things, man, that technology has now allowed you to no longer like focus on and develop certain skills, you know, because of laziness. Of course, people want the experience of not having to work so hard while driving, and that's what technology allows you to do. It does incorporate some safety features, but there's a lot to this, man. So, you know, and then you can buy a lot of aftermarket stuff that provides you a lot of the same safety features, but when you buy these cars brand new, they're very expensive, very, very expensive. And sure, the old cars were expensive relative to, you know, what the money was looking like back then when they were new. But like I said, a lot of these car manufacturers messed up by building them so well that they had to come up with cash for clunkers to get rid of them, get them off the road, make room for new vehicle purchasing, you know? It's what it is, man. It's what it is. So that's the rant that I'm on this morning. That's what I wanted to talk about, was cash for clunkers, because this place here really puts things in perspective regarding old cars and how well they were built. And I'm seeing so many of them. It just reminded me of what we went through on our part of town, where it just was not cool what they did, man. Get rid of all these reliable old cars just so you can buy new cars, and then have to keep buying because these newer cars aren't built like the old cars. So if you drive an old car, hold on to it. Be happy. Be glad. Be glad that you have a car that's still on the road. Look at that, 1989, 88 Toyota Corolla. Still on the road. I'm looking at it right now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Enjoy your cars. Don't cave in to the expectations of others. All right, drive your car and enjoy it. Save some money. Get to where you need to go safely. Do something else with that money. I don't know. That's just my advice, man. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just an opinion. It really doesn't matter. It's just my opinion. Take care.